Welcome back to Titan Vans and another full van tour. Behind me is the Ultra 170. The Ultra model is the only build we offer that has an interior shower stall, and it's available on both a 144 and on a 170. Before we check this thing out, make sure to hit that like and subscribe button so you don't miss any of the new products or van tours that are coming out. So without further ado, let's check it out. So like all of our models, there's tons of upgrade options that you can customize your van to really tailor it to your needs. This client opted to add our step rails here on the side of the van to make getting in and out easier. These steps will lower the initial step height by about 8 inches. So especially if you're thinking about doing a lift kit, these are great options. Speaking of suspension, on this van, we installed the Van Compass Stage 4.3 kit. That's a suspension upgrade, and it's not actually a lift kit. It does add a shock up front. It beefs up the rear leaf springs and adds a shock in the rear. Those shocks are tunable, so you can set them for either on-road or off-road driving. So they're a great option for those performance-minded individuals who really want to get the best of both worlds when you're on and off-road. Lastly, we have quite a few different wheel and tire options. This client opted to just get the tire upgrade. These are the BFG TKO2s, and she kept the factory rims. You can upgrade these to alloy rims. These are 16-inch rims here. You can go up to a 17-inch alloy if you want to upgrade the look and performance of the vehicle. The Ultra 170 is packed with tons of great features. We have a lot of functional and ample storage. This fold-down exterior table is great for having outdoor eating sessions. When you're set up with the awning extended and you got your rugs out, chairs out, this adds a lot of functional usability so you can use your van both inside and out. Another nice feature is these shelves are both accessible with the table down, and you have a door on the inside to access that storage. So putting your cook sets and stuff that you want to be kind of dual purpose, this is a great area to do that. You'll also notice down below we have a cubby area that allows you to store some utility stuff down below. So straps, dog leash, bowls, pair of flip-flops for getting in and out of the van. Great little spot to tuck things away. Behind me here, you'll see that we have the van set up right now with the captain's chair swiveled around. We have our marine table set up and our 2-person fold-away bench seat. This van can carry 4 people and has eating set up interior for 4 people as well. The marine table, when not in use, can stow right behind the seat. The fold-away seat is a great addition to this build because it actually stows up against the wall, so when you don't have additional people or you just want to get some more interior space back, that will tuck up out of the way, stow, and free up a ton of interior space. All right, so inside the van, I want to showcase some of the key features up here in the front. We talked about the fold-away seat. Just wanted to give you guys a quick demo of how that functions. So really easy to get up and then to get back down if you want to add additional passengers. So this is our standard 2-person fold-away seat that comes with each one of our Ultra build, whether you get the 144 or the 170. It does have 3-point harnesses, armrests, and is a very high-grade leather seat. The marine table here stows right here in the back. Pop the leg off, and we can store this guy right behind and lock it in. And the leg slips right on down, stored behind the seat as well. You can see how quickly we're able to free this space up and make the van feel a lot bigger if we don't need that extra capacity or need that table set up. Also up front here, I want to point out we have some nice under cabinet lighting. So touch button on the under cab lights. We have several throughout the van. This storage cabinet up here is great for all your food or pots and pans. Just a lot of great functional storage. We've recently upgraded how we're installing all these guys, and we've actually pull tested our cabinets to 3,000 pounds. So they are very strong and will stay put even in the event of emergency braking or the event of an accident. So we want to make sure these cabinets are not going anywhere. Also, you'll notice above me here that we have some L-track puck mounts installed in the ceiling. This is one of our upgrade options that's available for all of our builds. This gives some really nice attachment points to be able to hang wet clothes, towels, hammocks, strap surfboards to the ceiling. Just gives you a lot more versatility with that ceiling space to kind of make it work for what you need. So again, this is an upgrade option available with all of our builds. So the interior shower stall has a ton of great functionality. Whenever we install a shower, we want to make sure that we make it as versatile as possible because they do take up a lot of space. We've included a cassette toilet. This is the 5-gallon cassette toilet in the shower stall. This particular shower stall is 24 inches deep by 30 inches wide. You can see we have a teak mat on the bottom. That's going to keep you out of the water when you are using the shower, and it also keeps allows the toilet to mount to the shower mat and keeps it up out of the water as well. The shower head here is quick disconnect, so if you don't want this guy hanging up in the way, you can go ahead and just use the quick disconnect fitting here to fully disconnect it and stow it elsewhere if it's not going to be in use. Up above we have our shower light. It does have a white and a red setting, so for nighttime use you can put it on the red mode. That way you don't use up your night vision and keeps you from getting blinded in the middle of the night. The last key feature I want to point out here is that we actually duct the furnace into the shower stall. Now what that allows us to do is use this as a drying area. So you can see here we've actually installed L-track along the wall. So if you want to strap up your skis, put your boots, your jackets, some of your wetsuits, anything that you want to dry out or is muddy that you want to rinse off, you can do that in here and then turn the furnace on, the Webasto furnace. That pulls right off the gas tank, and actually heat this shower stall up to use it as a drying area. And if you really want to, you can also use this as a sauna. We've actually tested the heat in here and we've gotten it up to about 160 degrees inside the shower stall. So it gets really hot. The shower stall, even though it does take up a lot of room, is great for those who are going to be full-time living, are traveling professionals, or those who just like a little amenities. And with all the additional features that we pack into this, it really does make it worth the space. The Ultra 170 comes standard with a split galley design. So that means we've separated the sink and the cooktop onto either sides. That was done to keep the water system as simple and as robust as possible. So all of the plumbing is on the driver's side, so that includes the water tank, the water heater, and all of the plumbing lines for the shower and the sink. On this side of the van here, we have our induction cooktop. This is all powered directly off of the battery. This is a 120 volt appliance, so it does get power from the inverter. Below is the fridge, and this is the drawer 130. It's a marine fridge, has lots of great storage, separators to keep everything in place. It has a second tier shelf that kind of slides in and out, and also has a very large freezer. So that's one of the advantages to the drawer fridge, is kind of that extra freezer space. The door fridges can be a little bit small. So in most of our models, we utilize the drawer fridges, both from a convenience and functionality standpoint. Behind me is the Murphy bed. So this is in its bed position here, and you can see it is a very large bed. It's close to a king size. It's around 78 inches long and 74 inches wide. So a lot of space, and you do get a little bit of extra headroom too with the window bump outs. So the mattress itself is about 76 inches, but the actual sleeping space is going to be closer to 80 inches long. So I want to show you guys how this Murphy bed works. It is a 4-piece cushion, and it's actually a double Murphy, which means each side folds up. So it is in its bed mode right now. If we want to convert it back, we're going to move this cushion out of the way, and we're going to flip the first part of the Murphy up. We have our retaining strap here, so we clip it into the wall, and that guy is there. Now, one cool feature about and layout options for this particular build is you can leave this in the stowed position and just sleep as a single person up here. So this bed can be used as kind of just a one-person sleeping area, and plenty of room. I still got another like 4 to 6 inches, from my head to the back there. So it really is quite a long, large bed. But if you are just traveling solo, You can leave this as a single person, have access to all your storage underneath the bed, and keep the walkway nice and open. It's going to make this van feel a lot bigger. But if you do have extra people, or if 2 of you are going to be sleeping in here, you can make it into the full bed and get that almost king-size bed. Now, if you're going to be putting motorcycles or carrying some other large items and you need to get this bed fully out of your way, well, this side works almost the same way. So we get this out, we're going to flip this up, and the one difference here is that we have a back leg that needs to be stowed. So we can clip this in underneath the bed, tuck this up, and clip it into the wall. And there you go, fully up and out of the way. This is our stowed position for the Murphy bed, and you can see how much room we just gained back really quickly in the van, completely transformed it, and made the space a lot more functional for accessing all of our equipment underneath or just opening up the layout. This is the Murphy bed, comes standard with our Ultra 170, and you'll also see this Murphy design on a couple of our other builds. So check out our website, titanvans.com, if you want to see some more about this particular bed. Underneath the Murphy bed here, we have our water system on the driver's side. This is a 27-gallon freshwater capacity and has a 9-gallon gray water tank. The gray water tank is mounted underneath the vehicle, and both the sink and the shower drain into it. Now, for wintertime, like it is here right now, we do have an integrated heater pad on the gray water tank and on our freshwater tank. The heater pad can be controlled via a switch up at the control panel, but they are also thermostat controlled, so even if you turn them on, they will automatically shut off and on to when the temperature drops below 40 degrees. So that's a great functionality that is going to really allow you to push into those winter months and not have to worry about those particular items freezing. So down below is our 22-gallon over-the-wheel well tank. It's specifically designed to fit Sprinter and Transits, and it is available on our website at TitanDIYKits.com. Up above, we have our water heater. This is the IsoTemp Slim 4-gallon electric water heater. So this runs right off the batteries. It pulls about 750 watts when running, so it is very efficient, and it is very well insulated, so after it does heat the water up, it's going to stay hot for 8 to 10 hours, depending on ambient temperature. Still got a lot of storage space in here too for some of those utility items, so if you're carrying hoses, discharge tubes, leveling blocks, any sort of thing like that, this is a great area for it. Because it has the doors on it, obviously you're going to have to remove your cargo or some of your bikes down here to get these open, and so that's why we've designed our passenger side with cubbies, so it makes it a lot easier to get in and out. The passenger side wheel well cabinet holds all of our electrical as well as a lot of great storage. So I mentioned the cubby cabinets. So here we have some really large open cabinets. They've got big lips on them to keep anything from falling out. But these sort of stuff areas make it so that even if you have bikes or other cargo back here, totes, stuff, motorcycles, whatever it is, you can still get access to all this storage without having to get a door out of the way. Back here is our utility electrical area. So this houses all of our fuses, our electrical components, as well as our inverter. So we got a lot of stuff tucked behind here, and this is our brand new electrical system. We spent a lot of time designing it with a lot of resiliency built in. I'll give you a quick rundown on how it functions. So we have our lithium-ion battery bank, which has heater pads integrated onto them to keep them from freezing. We've tested our system and it remains operational down to -5 degrees Fahrenheit. Even below that temperature, we have seen our system continue to work, but the heating pads are going to struggle to keep up with those really cold temperatures, and eventually the batteries will automatically shut themselves off to protect themselves from being charged or discharging at those cold temps. So when we hit those cold temperature thresholds, we still wanted to design a system that functions. We now have 4 different electrical systems built into one. So we have our battery bank, which when everything is working, you see all of our lights running, the Webasto works, the fans work, the inverter runs. When the batteries shut themselves down, we can either start the engine or plug into shore power. When we start the engine, we have a secondary electrical system here that will take over and actually power all of our DC loads. The inverter will still not be able to work because it pulls power directly off the batteries, but we will be able to get heat back to our heater pads that are on our batteries, our water pump, Webasto, furnaces, fans, everything, the fridge, all of those will work immediately as soon as you start the engine back up. Also, if you want to and have access to shore power, you can plug in, and that system is another system that takes over and will power your DC loads. So the advantage to that is it's fully off-grid recoverable. What do I mean by that? So if the battery does shut itself down due to cold temperature, and the only other reason the battery system will shut itself off is due to a low voltage, so that's if you've drained it down so far that it actually turns itself off. In either one of those situations, by starting the engine, you will now be able to recover the batteries from a cold temp situation because it will power the heating pads automatically, and you'll be able to turn your Webasto furnace on to bring the temperature back up inside. And if you're in a low voltage state, there's actually a built-in trickle charger that will trickle charge the lithium-ion batteries directly off the alternator when you start the engine. Now, those systems are dormant while the battery system is working, but they automatically turn on when you start that engine and the battery system is shut down. So it's an intelligent system that really will take over as needed, and as an end user, all you got to do is start the engine. But if you don't want to sit there and idle your engine for a long period of time, you can also use the shore power. So by plugging into shore power, it will do the exact same thing. It'll power the DC loads, heater pad starts working, you can turn on your Webasto, bring the battery back up to temp. The shore power side also has a trickle charger on it that will bring the battery back from a low voltage state. This is the only system on the market in any of vans out there that has that sort of functionality. We spent thousands of hours testing it, developing this system, and we're putting it through its paces, and it is outperforming all of our expectations. So if you're looking for a bulletproof electrical system, look no further and check out these designs that we have, because they really are top of the line. To round out this electrical system, we want to show you the batteries. Okay, now this is a monster of a system. We have 1,000 amp hours tucked in here, so we have 5 200 amp hour batteries, all lithium ion, and we have multiple electric heating pads on here to keep these things nice and warm even in those extreme cold temperatures. Standard with all of our builds comes a single 200 amp hour battery, and you can upgrade your system at 200 increments up to 1,000 amp hours for our 170 builds and up to 600 amp hours for our 144 builds. So this client wanted to be able to run their air conditioning unit for 12 hours on high continuously directly off the battery. So for that sort of functionality, you're going to need a 1,000 amp hour battery bank. But when you are driving, so if the alternator is running, it will charge the batteries as well as take over your load. So if you are running an air conditioning unit or the water heater or anything else, it will power those as well as keep your batteries topped off. Similarly, if you are plugged into shore power, you're no longer running off your battery bank. It will charge your batteries, it is an inverter charger, and it will power all of your loads directly off that shore power. So having this large of a battery bank really is if you plan to be running these high loads for extended periods of time. So that's going to be cycling the water heater. So if you're heating up water a lot, like 3, 4, 5 times, if you're running your air conditioning unit continuously, or say you have some auxiliary component, even a small welder that you want to be able to run, you're going to need a big battery bank to do it, and this is as big as they get. To keep the vans warm, all of our 170 models come standard with our Evo 40 Webasto. That's their mid-size unit, and it puts out around 4,000 watts of heat. So for this amount of space, it will really keep you nice and cozy. We do have an upgrade option available, our cold weather package, that will increase that furnace size even larger. This client chose to increase her furnace size to our Evo 55. So it's stored down below here, and we have a false plate that can be removed to access the Webasto. And we have 2 outputs, one in the shower stall and then one right here on the back side of this cabinet. So it pushes the air into the garage area, and you can direct it so that it either points up or down in kind of any direction. So with those 2 outputs, you're really going to be able to ensure that this space gets adequately heated, and it's going to really help to keep your battery system warm so that it doesn't shut down in those extreme cold temperatures. For any sort of cold weather camping, it's so important to have that heater, and you really can't go wrong with an Evo 40 and a 170. So the upgraded Evo 55 is really for those extreme temperatures when we're going to be getting down to -15, -20 sort of degrees, and you want it to be 60, 70 degrees in the van. Otherwise, the Evo 40 is great. I'd recommend just sticking with that. But if you are sort of that cold weather junkie, you like to get out skiing, snowmobiling, and you're looking for those cold temperatures, definitely consider the cold weather upgrade option. The Ultra 170 has so many great features, we can't fit them all into this one video. So if you want to see more, check us out at titanvans.com, or better yet, hit that like and subscribe button and leave us a comment with what you want to know. We'll do our best to answer your questions. So until next time, enjoy the road.